Have you ever wondered how just a few simple words can turn into a story that you just can't put down? Well, today we're going to break down the hidden grammar of great storytelling. We're going to start with a super basic sentence and piece by piece build it into something powerful. So you ready? Let's dive in.
Okay, let's start right here. 3 little words. The fox saw. I mean, it's a sentence. Technically, it works. But is it really a story? Not quite, right? It's missing, well, everything. There's no detail, no feeling, no context. This is our foundation for sure, but we can build something so much better on top of it.
And just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got our simple little sentence. But on the right, whoa, now we have character, a belief, a sense of time, and it hooks you in immediately. That is the kind of transformation we're talking about today.
So how do we get from point A to point B? We start with the absolute essentials, the bare bones of any sentence, the subject and the verb. You can think of it as the who and the what happened.
So the subject, let's just call it S. That's our character. It could be the fox, the crow, the tortoise, you name it. And the verb, V, that's the action they're taking. They saw, they believed, they proved. You absolutely need this S plus V combo to get started. It's non-negotiable. Now, here's a key thing about telling stories. Usually you're talking about stuff that's already over, right? That's why we use the past tense. So instead of saying think, we say thought. Getting this right is so crucial for giving your story that classic, timeless feel. Some of these are pretty easy. You just add an ed at the end, like believe becomes believed. But others are a little tricky. They're irregular, so they change completely, like think turning into thought. Getting comfortable with these past tense forms is really the first big step to sounding like a natural storyteller. Okay, so we've got our character and their action, but it still feels a little incomplete, doesn't it? To really make it mean something, we have to answer the question, what? And that brings us to our next building block, the object. You can see the difference right away. The fox saw. It's so vague. Saw what? But the fox saw the grapes? Boom. Suddenly we have a target for that action. The object, or O, answers that what question. The fox saw what? The grapes. So much better. All right, this next part, this is where the real magic starts to happen. We've got our subject, verb, object, our SVO. Now it's time to add the final piece of this core structure, the complement, or C. This is where we inject opinion, description, and a ton of personality. Let's just walk through this for a second. Take our fox again. The subject is the fox, the verb is called, the object is the grapes, and now the complement is sour. See, that word sour tells us something about the grapes. Or look at the lion. The lion made the mouse what? His friend. This 4-part structure, subject, verb, object, complement, is an incredibly powerful tool for storytelling. So the whole point of the complement is to give us more information about the object. It's not a new action, it's more like a label or a description. It can be an adjective, like beautiful, or it can be a noun, like the winner. And here it is, our sentence now in its full SVOC form. We don't just know that the fox saw the grapes. We now know his opinion of them. We're starting to get inside the character's head, which is what storytelling is all about. Our sentence is descriptive now, but it's kind of floating in a void. A good story needs a setting, and the quickest way to create one is by adding an element of time. When did all this go down? You know these phrases. Words like once upon a time or one cold morning are like a big sign that says, hey, a story is about to start. Pay attention. They totally set the stage. Then you've got these guys. Words that inject a bit of surprise and speed things up. Suddenly can completely change the mood of a story in an instant. And words like then or after that help us follow along, creating a nice, clear sequence of events. And of course, every story needs an ending. Phrases like finally or in the end tell your audience that we're wrapping things up. It gives everyone that satisfying feeling of closure. So let's plug one of these time elements into our sentence. Just by adding that evening, we've totally grounded the action. It's not just a statement anymore, it's a scene. You can almost feel the sun going down as that fox starts to walk away. Okay, we've built a fantastic, descriptive sentence. But a story is more than just one sentence, right? The final step is to learn how to connect our ideas together smoothly using what I like to call the glue of storytelling, connectors. Think of this table as your own personal storytelling toolkit. Every single one of these words has a specific job. and just adds more info, but creates a conflict and so shows you a result. Using the right one makes all the difference between a story that flows and one that's just a choppy list of facts.
Here is a perfect example. You have one idea. The hare ran fast. Cool. And another, the tortoise never stopped. Also cool. But when you put that little 3-letter word but in between them, bam, you've created tension, you've created contrast, you've basically created the entire point of that famous story.
And that brings us to the grand finale for our little sentence. Look at it now. We've got the time, we've got that solid SVOC structure, and now we have a consequence. He called the grapes sour, so he walked away hungry. The story is complete. We went from just 3 words to a full narrative microstory. So, there you have it. Those are the fundamental building blocks, the secret recipe for crafting stories that really connect with people. You have all the tools now, so the only question left is, what story will you build now?